So, thank you for this comment. It says, Black people in general tend to police other Black people in PWI spaces, and I bet the same is not said for Black women with leadership roles in non-PWI spaces. Instead of professional support, it becomes another case of policing in PWI spaces. So, let's talk a little, let me unpack those two things, right? I have said before, thank you for your comment, but I have said before, I have had managerial roles for majority of my career. I have managed folks. So 20 years, I've managed student staff, I've managed professional staff, I've managed young professionals, I've managed people around my age, et cetera, right? But the older I get, what I do know to be true is that there's something to be said that when you're in these rare spaces, right? At my level now, I can count on one hand how many Black SVPs that I know in my company, right? And it makes me sad because traditionally they're not in the spaces that I'm in. And so I become two things. I become the example and I become the token. And I hate both of those, right? I hate both of those. I don't mind the example because let me tell you something. I'm good at what I do. And I don't take for granted the things that I know, and I don't try to bullshit people on the things that I don't know. But let's go back to in PWI spaces and what that looks like, right? Some people have, and I mentioned this in my previous video, that some people have this thought process of, I have to make it hard for you because it was hard for me. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if that is a generational thing, or I don't know if it is a industry thing or whatever, but like, again, I think it may be a generational thing. And I want you to know dinosaurs are dying. And so because dinosaurs are dying, we as Gen Xers get an opportunity to really put our stamp on how we want to lead. And we know the types of pitfalls and swamp and, swamp mess and swamp and swamp mess and deep doo-doo that we have stepped in or have had to wade through in order to just get to some of these places in our careers. And so it pains me to say that I don't want to see others kind of wrangling over young professionals, but I also believe that there is like I said, a generational conversation gap, right? I'll give you a prime example. So I'm at a global corporation and, you have all these affinity groups and things of that nature. And so this year I'm actually an ambassador in a program it was supposed to be for, culturally, it was supposed to be for multicultural women. Last year was multicultural women. This year it's now just women. Down they're taking out just the women part, right? Like let's just the climate we're in, that's what's happening. And we just have to roll with the punches of it. And I'm not disgruntled that the program is kind of changed or changing. We have to decide how we're going to move forward. And so the women that I was coaching or, in my cohort within the group were all younger white women or women my age, actually. And so at my level, I tend to be the youngest one of, everything. And so, or the people think that I'm, super young because good blood don't crack and I moisturize. And I think what was difficult is in these spaces, I can only give you so much information that's going to be generic in general versus me trying to give you information as a Black woman, as a woman of color, as a young woman in spaces where I've gotten age discrimination on both sides of it, right? Like people think I'm too young. Some people think I'm too old, some depending on where you fall on that spectrum. I have been in social media for probably the last, 20 plus years. And, I have had to work my way and earn my keep in digital marketing and digital media and content management and content marketing and all that stuff. Right. So I say that to say, like, it's unfortunate that when you get into these white spaces, we still have these conversations about who's trying to pull rank on other people. It sucks. It happens. We got to do better. Hope that helps.